Welcome to week 16. If you're new here, hi, welcome to This Cat Can Ball, the show where we feature one player each week who's largely been unknown due to either riding the bench, being drafted late, or in some cases, not even drafted at all. But they decided to show up this week, and we're going to give them their moment in the spotlight. Now, we have 2 more games left in the season, and what that means now is that it's a little bit dangerous because you got these teams that are going to kind of come out of nowhere because they don't really have much to worry about, so they can take risks, right? And it's going to hurt teams that are really vying for a last-minute playoff spot. But what I'll tell you is the big trend right now is streaks. And some teams are on great winning streaks, and some are on unreal winning streaks. It's pretty amazing right now. Like the top 3 teams, the NFC, the Packers, the Cowboys, and the Rams, they are all riding 4-game winning streaks. And right now, Packers are taking the number 1 seed in the NFC. They might run away with it. I don't see another team catching up with them. And those top 4 teams have already locked up their division titles. Now on the AFC, a team that's riding a super hot streak is the Chiefs. They've won 8 in a row. What's really cool about this is that I think for a lot of fans the past few years, we've kind of wanted to see the real big quarterback duel in the Super Bowl of Mahomes against Rodgers, right? Even last year when it was Mahomes and Brady, it was like, you know, the old champion versus the new young gun, right? But even then, it was still like, I think a lot of people still wanted to see Rodgers and Mahomes because I think Mahomes and Rodgers kind of have a more similar gunslinger mentality. Brady is unquestionably the GOAT, right? Greatest of all time. But he's much more of a controlled player, I think. So yeah, the Chiefs are riding an 8-game winning streak. One other team that is sneaking into that last AFC spot, unbelievable as it may seem, the Miami Dolphins, the once 1-7 Miami Dolphins, are riding a 7-game winning streak. It is unreal, and I think it's freaking awesome. A few weeks ago, I said that Miami, I think at that point when I spoke on it, they were riding a 5-game winning streak. And I thought it would be amazing to see if they actually really become that dark horse team that slides into that last AFC spot. But I wasn't too sure because, a lot of things had to go right for them. But so far they are. Right now they're seated 7th in the AFC. So if the season ended right now, they'd be in. They still have 2 more games to go. Like I said, right in a 7-game winning streak. I think that's kind of one of the hardest things to maintain as far as what you need. Some teams is kind of like, they only need to win 1 more game, or in some cases, they're like, well, if this other team loses, we're kind of guaranteed a spot for the last week, week 18. I know a lot of teams are probably going to kind of rest back and say, you know what, we have not much to gain by winning this game, so if we lose, it's okay. But some of the teams that have to continue that push, it's just hard to keep up that level of intensity and energy. Sometimes it's almost beneficial to kind of take a loss in that last week, so if anything, you kind of rest it up, and when the postseason comes, you have everything ready to go to make that surge towards the title, right? But yeah, like I mentioned, one of the things that's going to make it tough is that at this point in the year, we have a lot of teams that are already done for, right? They're probably just playing for pride, they're playing for, or they may even be tanking the season to get a good draft pick. These teams are kind of dangerous because they are starting to kind of hurt teams that are in that wild card hunt, right? Like one of the teams is the Chargers. They're not done. They're still in the hunt. But the Houston Texans, who actually are done, they disrupted the Chargers' plans of going for that AFC wildcard spot. And it's a little stunning to see because the Chargers have a great team. I mean, Justin Herbert is, he probably is, like him and Joe Burrows, they are the next future faces of the quarterback position. They're really changing the game with the way they play. And a little unexpectedly, too. I think Burrows coming out of LSU, I think he had a lot expected of him, but not so much Herbert. Not to take away from his abilities, I don't think people expected him to just blossom the way he did. But yeah, they go into Houston to play the Texans, and the Texans, they put up one hell of a fight, and they ended up winning the game 41-29. And that leads us into the cat this week that can ball. He is a member of the Houston Texans, and he was actually pretty pivotal in making sure that Houston secured that win. His name is Tavierre Thomas. I hope I'm getting his name right. He's actually out of Ferris State, which is a small college in Michigan, and it was a special teamer, defensive back. That's actually what he does. He plays cornerback for the Texans, and he actually ended up putting up 6 tackles. 4 of them were solo, which is pretty good considering that if you're going to be playing defensive back against the Chargers, they have a lot of weapons to throw at you. Not to mention the fact that Herbert has a super strong arm. I think he has the record right now, if I'm not mistaken, for the longest pass completion in the NFL right now. 60-some yards. That guy's got a cannon, so you really got to be covering a lot of ground if you're going to defend the pass against the Chargers. Now, one thing I like about Tavierre Thomas, like I said, he went to Ferris State in Michigan. It's a small school. He actually went there. He chose to go there because of an academic scholarship he had. Despite having a 3.8 GPA graduating out of high school, he had a low ACT score, which actually stopped him from getting into a bigger university, which is a little strange to me, but that's the way it works, right? So he goes to Ferris State on an academic scholarship, does great there, declares for the draft, but doesn't get picked up. The Browns signed him as one of the many cats on this show have in their background. He was, practice squad, signed here and there, but never actually got a solidified spot on a team. So he bounced around with the Cardinals and the Browns, and then this year he lands with the Houston Texans. And the great thing about this fourth quarter interception, which already is, like I spoke about last week, the cat that intercepted Brady to really end that drive, not only did Tavierre get the interception off Herbert, he took it back for a score. Pick sixes are pretty rare. I mean, even in, among the greats, Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, Deion Sanders, pick sixes are hard to come by. And when you do it against a great quarterback like Justin Herbert, that is demoralizing for a team. Chargers weren't able to mount enough of a comeback. They did lose the game. And granted, at the end of the day, that just makes the road tougher for the Chargers going to the postseason because the Texans aren't going to the postseason, right? But it still shows that they're fighting. He didn't score on, let's say, some triple reverse or a flea flicker or some kind of crazy play that they figured, our season is tanked. We're just going to try something crazy, see if we can get in the end zone. No, this is just your standard pass defense. This guy comes in, like I said, got 6 tackles, which is pretty good overall for a defensive back, and then seals the deal for the Texans by getting this pick 6 in the fourth quarter off Herbert, who, like I said, he is going to be, for at least a decade now, he is going to be among the top quarterbacks, not just in the AFC, not just among Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow. He's going to be one of the best in the NFL. He's probably going to be a top 5 going into next year. He's top 10 right now. So when you see what he did against the team that he did, and in the situation that the season has looked so far for the Texans, you got to say,
this cat can ball, man.
So that's going to wrap up the show for this week, folks. I really hope you like it. If you do, make sure to hit like, comment, subscribe. This show comes out every week, but in the event you do forget, the bell will alert you. Comments are always great. The interaction is good for the algorithm. It's the best way I learn and hopefully improve upon this show every week. So yeah, just one more time, like, comment, subscribe. I am Omar, and I will see you guys next week.